Here are some facts that the left likes to leave out when they're teaching about slavery. 1. The first legal slave owner was a black man. 2. There were black people that owned slaves, and some of them were plantation owners and owned up to 100 slaves. 3. Native Americans owned slaves. Yes, the Cherokee owned black slaves. At one point, the Cherokee owned as many as 1,200 black slaves, and they didn't even free them during the 13th Amendment. 4. During the transatlantic slave trade, only 2% of the black slaves were actually shipped to the U.S. 5. 40 to 50% of the slaves were sent to Portugal and Brazil. 6. During the Revolutionary War, a lot of the generals actually freed their slaves that fought alongside them because they thought of themselves as hypocrites, because here they were fighting for freedom, yet they had slaves, so they freed their slaves. 6. During the early 1800s, there was an 86% increase in the freedom of slaves, and this was before the 13th Amendment. 7. There were hundreds of white Quakers who were thrown in prison up to 12 years for helping to free the slaves, meaning that they were part of the Underground Railroad and they were thrown in prison for helping to free the slaves. 8. When the North decided to abolish slavery, that represented 3.5 million people who said no to slavery, and that was actually the largest body of people in the world to say no to slavery, the North. 9. There are more people enslaved today than there was during the time of slavery in the U.S. 10. America was exceptional in their abolishment of slavery because they used their own men to free the slaves. Around 250,000 men died to free the slaves. White men, most of them.